Hi there. Welcome to my weekly Facebook Live show. I'm Jen Burson. I'm the founder and president of Generation PR, an award-winning PR, digital PR agency, social media marketing influencer agency based in Los Angeles, where it is a little rainy and I see the sun coming out. I should probably look around for a rainbow, perfect rainbow conditions. And I'm also the creator of the Generation Academy that is geared towards giving you, the digital agency owner, all of the tools, the resources, the know-how, tips, training tools, community, all of the things you need to be successful in your business and your career. And today's discussion is a very important one. So I'm going to wait a second until we have our friends join us, because this topic is the number one thing that I have members of our programs come in and tell me is holding them back, keeping them stuck in neutral, and preventing them from moving forward to pursue their dreams. And there's a reason why we tackle it inside the Agency Accelerator at the very beginning. The very first thing we do is we talk about mindset, getting you into, I hate this mat. Okay, there we go. Getting you into the entrepreneurial mindset, addressing and coming up with strategies to help overcome your fear of failure, your feeling of imposter syndrome, fear in general holding you back from maybe asking for a rate that you deserve or working with a dream client. Fear of failure can keep you playing small. And so it's really important that we tackle it, we address it, we acknowledge that it's there, and don't let it hold us back, but we use it to find ways to maybe use that to our advantage, find ways to shift the narrative so that we can move forward with the confidence and the clarity that you need to take that huge leap of faith, launch or grow and scale your digital agency, and pursue entrepreneurship with the confidence that you can do it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let me know who's here. I love seeing all of you guys join us. I cannot believe there aren't more people here for this topic. Sometimes my announcements don't go out in real time, but this is a really important and very good topic. And when I watch our members move through our material inside our Agency Accelerator, this content that goes a lot deeper inside our program is the content that people dive into the most and revisit the most. So that tells me something. Hi, Serena. Nice to see you. I had a feeling that was you. Nice to see you here. Okay. Wow. The dog is growling at the cat. So funny. I feed my dog this dog food and she's super sick of it. I try to zhuzh it up. I sprinkled some salmon oil on it. And now my hands reek because I had to get the pills open. And the cat, so the dog has no interest in this food, none whatsoever. She's so sick of it. She's like, this is barf. I don't want it. But the second the cat walks near her, she starts growling at him and starts just eating the food like crazy as if it's her favorite thing. And she, loves it because it's all about, I have this and you don't. This is mine and not yours. Get away. You can't have it. So this is funny to watch here. Okay, let's dive in, and please ask any questions you have as you're following along. If you're watching the replay, let me know that you're here and any questions that you have. And at the end, I'll be sharing a link to register for our brand new upcoming masterclass. It is really, really, really good, really good. And it's called From Flailing to Flowing. We got to get you flowing. Okay. So let's dive in. We know that launching a digital agency, it's really exciting, pursuing your dreams and entrepreneurship, but there's a lot of uncertainty that comes with that, and that comes with entrepreneurship in general. Your income is not guaranteed. But what I love about that is the flip side. Like I said, we're going to take all of these fears that hold us back and flip it so that we have a different way to look at it. I look at the fact that income is not guaranteed. The other side of it is that the potential is, sky's the limit. And when you're working in a job for someone else, maybe you get a little extra bonus if you do a good job or the company's doing well. By the way, your job is never secure. I mean, the company could, let you go or whatever, but you're limited to your income and maybe a bonus on top of it or a sales commission. But that quantum growth in your income, your revenue, is only possible when you have your own business. And there's that feeling of being fulfilled, that you're doing something for yourself. You're doing your own thing. You're in charge. You get to call the shots. And not that you're bossing people around, but you make decisions that are going to align with the kind of life and the values you have, your work-life integration, and you get to make those choices. So I know it's tough, and we always hear about failed launches or closed businesses. We've all heard that stat, whatever percent of businesses, 90%, I don't know, fail in the first 5 years. I don't know if that's true, but it sure gets shared a lot. Just like when I started law school and they said, look to your left, look to your right. One of you will not be here at the end of the 3 years of law school. That wasn't true either, because the number of people that were in my 1L class was pretty close to the number of people that were in my 3L class. And, so weird, but these things get, repeated over and over. And that can also contribute to the fear. You don't want to be one of those numbers, but you cannot allow that fear of failure hold you back, because you can't run a successful business when fear is in the driver's seat. And if you let it take over, you're setting yourself up for a safe, unfulfilling career. And that's not what I want for you. That's not why I'm here. That's not my purpose. And it's not yours. So I want to share 6 of my best strategies for overcoming your fear, fear of failure, so that you can reach your goals. You can maybe surpass your goals. Absolutely. And you can pursue dream opportunities that you never imagined possible and build the life and the business, the digital agency that you want. Okay. Overcoming fear, Serena says, has been the hardest thing for me. I'm so glad that you're here today, Serena. And of course, I'm happy to talk about all of this with you. And thank you for sharing that. We've all experienced it at one time or another, And I will tell you, Serena, I will bet on you all day long. I would bet on you all day long. And I hope you feel that for yourself. And I know that your mom, hi mom, if she's listening, I know that she would absolutely agree that if, we're going to bet on Serena successfully running her business, we're betting on Serena, and I'll take that bet all day long. So, but I'm really glad you're here. So the first thing I'll share with you is that, failure is a part of entrepreneurship. We're going to talk a lot about the fact that it happens, and we've all heard that your biggest failures are your biggest opportunity for growth. And every digital agency owner has at least some fear of failure when they get into entrepreneurship, and we'll all experience it at one point or another. Know it's coming, right? Like if you worry that there might be some failure or something didn't go the way that we anticipated, you'll be, again, stuck in neutral and fear's in the driver's seat and you're going nowhere. So we're all going to experience it. I have certainly many times over 18 years of running Generation and now Generation Academy. But realize that you are never alone in your failures, your struggles, your setbacks, your bumps in the road. no one is 100% successful right out of the gate. No one. Maybe things go in a different direction than you expected. And if you have your heart set on one thing, then that new direction may feel like a failure because it's not what you had in mind, or it wasn't your initial reason for pursuing. But that new direction that maybe you perceive as a failure is really where you're meant to be. You know, falling down and getting back up again is how you become a better entrepreneur and a better agency owner. It's how you build your confidence, knowing you're going to come out on the other side of it and still be here, you know? And I wanted to share a story where I kind of experienced this with my own son, where we recently went on our very first family ski trip. And my older son, who, you know, not the most coordinated, but he's certainly way better than he has been in the past because he's been in occupational therapy, and he's in a school environment where he feels confident to, you know, try things like basketball and soccer, and really improving his coordination and his interest in trying new things, which is very exciting for us because he's extremely rigid. He has learning differences, and it's a lot easier for him to just say, I don't care, I'm not interested, than to face his fears. And part of those fears, I think, is a bit of embarrassment or not being good enough, not just, I'll fall and might hurt myself or whatever. But I could tell there was something about him that was very intrigued by the idea of skiing. He was open to trying it. He seemed excited. We said, we're putting you in ski school. And he did not like ski school. He was like, I'm done. Return my rentals. Don't buy me a lift ticket tomorrow. I'm out. And I could just tell there was something there that was like, it's not that he doesn't like it. It's that he won't overcome the hard part at the beginning because he's afraid of failing. He's afraid of falling. So I convinced him to stay with me. I'm not a great skier, but I've been skiing since high school. I am not awesome at it. We go, I honestly hadn't been skiing since before my oldest son was born. So probably about 14 years. But it just like comes back, I'm not great, but I can do okay. I can get around. And I just said, I will stay with you. We will go to the bottom of the bunny slope. We don't even have to get on the chairlift. And I'll just go on that little slope, just back and forth with you. And I'll stay with you. And there's no rush. There's no pressure. And he finally said, okay, yeah, I'll give it a try. The very first thing that I taught him was how to fall down. How to fall. And I said, I'll fall with you. It's not a big deal. Everyone falls. And I pointed around the mountain. We're on the bunny slope. Everybody's learning. I pointed to all the grownups and all the kids that were on the ground, and they just got right back up. I taught him how to fall, and I taught him how to get up. And gradually, the falling became no big deal because he could push himself right back up. And I told him that the falling down part is one of the most important parts of being successful at skiing. It's falling and knowing that that's not a problem and getting right back up. And I swear that tripped a light bulb where he said, I want to try this. Let's get on the lift. And so like we're talking the bunny slope, which is my speed pretty much. So let me know who else is here, by the way. Hi, welcome. So once my son felt more comfortable with falling, which was kind of the equivalent of like failing and realizing it didn't mean that you're never going to do it. It just means you have to get up and try again. He was more willing to try, and he was successful. He pizza wedged his way down that slope. And I have to say this was one of my biggest wins as a parent because I stuck with him. I didn't let him overcome or I didn't let his fear of failure keep him from trying. He started to enjoy it. We picked up his brother from ski school and they were both like, let me show you what I learned. Let me show you what I learned. The next thing I know, they're both on the lift together, to go down the little bunny slope and show each other what they could do. And it was one of the greatest moments of parenting, one of my most joyful moments. It was amazing because he is very reluctant to try anything. And so we were so proud of him. It was so huge, but it was remembering that the falling down part is just part of the process of learning. And he learned how to get right back up. And then that fear of falling was not a factor anymore. And that is a similar lesson that I hope you can take into entrepreneurship. We'll all fall, we'll maybe fail, and it's a learning opportunity. You get right back up and you keep going, and you don't let that stop you. Number 2, put the focus back on your goals. So your goals and the vision that you have for your life and your agency, that is there to guide you through any setbacks that you may have. You know, just knowing that this is a small part of a bigger vision and a bigger dream and a bigger goal that you have for your life and your business. When you're acting and making decisions that are aligned with those goals and your values and that vision, then you know you're making progress despite any setbacks or failures. And failures can be a necessary part of reaching your goals. And you'll know what doesn't work for your journey, and you can proceed accordingly. Like sometimes the failure can be saying yes to something that isn't aligned with your vision or your values, or taking a client that you kind of know it's not really a stepping stone in the right direction, but it's a learning opportunity. I kind of look at my first career in law as, you know, not like, oh, that was a failure, I couldn't hack it. Although I did have that kind of imposter syndrome for a long time when I started my business. But I looked at that experience of trying law. You know, law school was great. I really enjoyed it. Met, you know, great, smart people. But practicing was not the right fit for me. It just was not a fit. And that contrast of whatever that was, I don't want that. I don't want billable hours. It's why we don't do hourly reporting and, you know, like you're going to be on retainer, because I don't want you to have to track your hours. It really sucks. Like today I had a call with our son's special ed lawyer because we're working on a settlement with the school district for support for his, you know, education. And she was on the call and I could tell, because they're every 10th of an hour, 6 minutes. I could tell she was trying to get the call done in under 0.2, so 12 minutes. She wanted to just read me the major parts of the settlement and just say, you know, here are the key takeaways. And she was like off, which I appreciate. I don't need to spend money unnecessarily, but it means no pleasantries, no relationship, not for me, right? I want to have a relationship with clients. We talk about this in Agency Accelerator about becoming an extension of their team, making yourself, you know, just like indispensable to them and fun to work with and connected. And you guys have like inside jokes. It's hard to fire and let someone go that you feel this like connection to them as a person. You can't get that with billable hours. I know I'm like sidestepping. The point is that my career in law showed me exactly what I didn't want. And I knew the flip side of, well, I know what a career that I love would look like. So even taking a client that sucks and you're like, oh my God, this is awful. You know, you have to part ways. You have to end the contract early. You have to deal with stressful encounters until you let them go. That failure, they're all a learning opportunity, and it's a necessary part of reaching your goals, because now you know the kinds of clients that you want to work with and the kinds of characteristics and the ways that they work that'll align with how you want to work. You'll proceed accordingly when you make decisions that are in alignment with your goals. And letting go of your fear of failure is easier when you have those goals motivating you, because you're working towards something that excites you and something that inspires you. You know, why would you ever let fear hold you back from achieving your dreams when you're in pursuit of something that just inspires you and lights you up. Fear is not going to be stronger than that desire. Sure, there might be obstacles along the way, but any failure, any setback, any road bump is not the final point. It's just one point in the destination. And when you have your goals and your vision in mind, you have that motivation that you need to keep going, to push past any fear and to work hard to make decisions in alignment until you succeed and until you're on that path. And even if you feel that you're successful, there's still going to be setbacks. There's always setbacks, but you look at them not like failures. You look at them just like, learning lessons and opportunities for growth and a typical experience in running your business. Okay. Does that resonate with any of you? It resonated with me when we were writing this. I was like, yep, I felt that one. Another thing to do to really overcome the feeling of failure or the fear of failure is to shift your mindset about failure. When you are afraid of failing, it's easy. This is like my son with the skiing. He was just afraid of falling. He was afraid of looking, he's just turned 13. He's a teenager. He was afraid of looking ridiculous. And I was like, first of all, you're not going to look ridiculous. I will help you up every single time. And I'll fall down with you because I don't care. These people don't know us. Like, it's fine. And even if your best friends were here, everybody falls and we don't look ridiculous. You're just learning and that's it. You're on the bunny slope. Everyone here is learning. When you're afraid of failing, it's really easy to take an all or nothing mentality. Either you fail and you give up or you succeed and you celebrate. Like, there's really no in between. But that is not conducive to success, the success of your agency at all. This sort of thinking makes it easy to let fear win and to choose the simple way out. If I don't pursue that or I don't try, then I won't fail. This has a lot to do also with like perfection paralysis. You guys have that ever where you write a pitch and you review it and you tweak it and you rewrite it and you just can't push send for whatever reason? Or you write an article or you're writing a proposal. This happens to me with proposals all the time. That, I got to get it right. The perfection paralysis is a way that fear is taking over because it's the fear of judgment, the fear of someone saying no, the fear of not getting the opportunity. If you don't put it out into the world, then nobody can say no. But when you flip that thinking, not putting it out into the world and not winning that client or not getting the yes from an editor or, not getting eyeballs on your latest blog post or, whatever the case may be, or updating your website, not putting that out into the world because you're worried people will see it and they won't want to work with you. Well, the result's the same. If you don't put it out into the world, you're not going to win that client. You're not going to land that press feature. So perfection paralysis is really like a protective way that we try to keep others from judging, or we try to protect ourselves from our fears of failure or rejection. But the outcome is actually the same when you don't put your finished work into the world. The answer is no. An editor can't say yes to a pitch that you never sent or that you keep trying to get perfect. There is no perfect. You could write the perfect pitch and it might not align with that editor, or you could write a sloppy, quickie pitch as you're like thinking of something that you have a relationship with somebody and you just fire off something very casual and they're like, yes, let's go. And you're like, that was the most casual, easiest pitch I ever sent. So that sort of thinking of you're afraid to fail, it will hold you back. And it will make it easy for that fear to win and for you to choose the simple way out, which is to not try to pursue that dream or put that work into the world, You won't go after opportunities with your dream clients, or you won't ask for the rate that you deserve based on the value you provide because you're worried they'll say no. That's a fear of failure. I'll ask for this and they'll say it's too much or they can't afford it and they won't work with you. And that's the fear that holds you back. So you ask for a modest rate and you're stuck playing small. Maybe there's massive projects that could really move the needle for your business, but that fear keeps you from pursuing them because you are worried that there could be rejection or failure on the other side of it. The first part of shifting your mindset about failure is reframe your idea of success. This one I like a lot. You have to think about what success means to you, both large and small scale. How do you know that you're successful? How do you know that your business is a success or that it's working and you're not failing? Of course you want to succeed with your goals, but there are small wins along the way. And we often ignore those small wins to get to the final goal, the bigger destination. And what we talk about a lot inside Agency Accelerator is acknowledging those small wins, celebrating those small wins. And it's funny because one of our members mentioned winning a new contract, something that was like a win. And I said, how are you going to celebrate your win? And she said, I knew you were going to say that. And the answer is, I don't know. But at least the message is getting across that the small wins are worth celebrating along the way. And that momentum builds, you start to see that your unique vision of success for your life, both professional and personal, they're coming into focus. They're happening a little bit at a time. Building a website and putting it up, taking a new headshot. I mean, I can't tell you how many of our members don't have headshots. And then they say, well, I can't finish my website because I don't have pictures. And we get to the point of why, they don't want to take a headshot and maybe they're not happy with how they look or their weight or their clothes or putting themselves out there as the face. That's fine. You don't have to do that, but don't allow that to keep you from putting up a website where your dream client is going to find you and see your case studies and know you're the best choice for them and they'll pay whatever it takes to work with you. So celebrate those small wins. Taking a headshot, that's a big deal. Doing a photo shoot, putting up your website, reaching out to a prospective new client. I recorded a podcast yesterday for my podcast, an interview, actually 2 days ago, with somebody. I'm excited for you guys to hear it. 50 plus year old member of our community, a grandma. I'm like, you're the hottest freaking grandma. Sorry, Mom, you're a hot, booma. My kids call her Booma. And my mom always watches. Hi, Mom. But she looks so young and she's, amazing. And she reinvented herself. She went through the pitch lab and said, I can do this. And took her past background as a trauma therapist, decided her niche. And with our content inside our program, went after her dream client. And she said, let's do an introductory rate. And they said, actually, let's not, because we want more of your services. I swear to God. And she said they came in higher than she ever imagined. And if she just had this one client, she would be set with her business. And she felt that confidence because of what she had learned inside of our programs. First, the pitch lab, the skills itself, and then inside the sales content inside of the Agency Accelerator. She took the small program I have, Lead to Landed, but very similar content. Hers was like skimming the surface. Agency Accelerator goes deep. And she reached out to her dream client and won them. And now she has a business she absolutely loves. It's like so inspiring. I was like, oh my God, I love this so much. It's exactly why I'm here. Exactly. So, she had a very clear vision of success for her life and went after an opportunity that felt aligned, and she got it. And that client could have said no, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. She would have said, okay, well, that pitch didn't work out. Let's try again. I'll try another one that strikes me as the right fit. So what matters is that you always try to do better than the day before. That's what I tell my kids. Did you try your best? Did you do better today than you did yesterday? Whatever the setbacks are that you're experiencing, just try to be 1% better the next day. Failure doesn't seem so all or nothing when you focus on little victories and you celebrate the wins all along the way. And instead of all of the above, awesome. When you focus on it, we tend to fixate on the negative, right? It's like the thing that you can't take your eyes off of it. Like everything could be like incredible, but there's one little thing and you're like, but that thing. That happens in construction, or it happened. We had a TV segment. My client was on Ellen, and it was like an absolute home run segment. And the client was like, I don't like the way the blankets are folded on the table. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you think they just plopped them on the table? Like, there's a set decorator. Somebody with skill did that, but that's what you're going to fixate on? Then you're never going to be happy. Well, I choose happy. And so I choose to celebrate the small victories. When I had that podcast interview on Tuesday, I got off and I celebrated it. I got off the call and I was like, that is incredible. I'm going to celebrate that win because that's a win for the work I put out into the world and the shift in her life. I mean, she mentioned her husband. I will say it because she said it on air. Her husband was diagnosed with cancer and he's doing okay, but she wanted to spend more time with him. She wanted to be more accessible, and her other career was very emotionally draining. And now she has something that lights her up. She's making more money than she ever thought, and she's feeling more emotionally connected to her work. And, that is why I put all this into the world. It's like my vision is an impact, it's an impact goal. It's connecting with, Michelle and Serena and all of the, Tia, everybody in our programs that are working towards their, work-life integration, having a business that lights them up. And when I hear that win, it's a win for me. So I celebrated that, It was like an hour walk with the dog and just smiling and like letting the sun hit my face, little victories along the way. And then failure it's not all or nothing when you're acknowledging the small wins. The next tip I have for you is you have to push through the discomfort. When things get hard, you have a major setback that you're faced with, you have to push through it. It's uncomfortable. You have to keep going. You might have to start from square one and do things over again with some tweaks, some changes, a whole new approach, a fresh outlook. That's okay because it is all part of the process. That grit is, as I'm realizing, as I'm raising my children, it's really hard to teach. And I'm working hard because I don't think that my kids have grit. And hold on. I want them to try their best. And I don't, hold on. You guys know what I'm doing here. Hold on, where am I? Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. You guys know I'm trying to get this person off our page. Hold on. I don't know if you can see it, but I don't hold on. Spammy spam. We got to get rid of it. Do you see it? Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay. Here we go, guys. Sorry about that. Where was I? Sorry. Okay. And I love what Serena says here. Get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. Totally. So that when you have those setbacks or that moment where you're like, oh my God, what? Or like we experience embarrassment. Like you have no idea. I have fallen in front of supermodels at fashion shows, fallen at their feet, tripped over a clothing rack because my pant cuff got caught on it, dove through the rack, took all of the apparel that they were doing the runway show wearing with all their, if you've ever been to a fashion show backstage, there's like all the garments and they're being steamed and all of the models' names are aligned with the different outfits they're wearing in the order that they're wearing them. I knocked that rack over and my purse went over here, my camera went over there. When they say, what's the most embarrassing moment of your life? That was it. All I could do was pick myself back up, dust myself off, and keep going, right? So embarrassing, but it was like very uncomfortable. And I just said in that moment, like, got to get comfortable with the discomfort because there's no other option right here. And it was funny because I kind of landed at the feet of this one supermodel. She looked at me like, ugh, like roadkill, like Carrie in Sex and the City. I'm fashion roadkill. And ironically, later that evening on the runway, that model ate shit and fell down. So let's hope she's comfortable with the discomfort. But my most embarrassing moment, and I just said in that moment, like, I'm not going to let this keep me from, continuing my work on this day. I need to push forward and, make the most of this fashion show that I'm a part of. So grit, I was saying about my kids, persistence, determination, all of those things that it takes to push through that first setback will all make future failures easier to overcome. And this is what I try to instill in my boys. They don't want to do anything if they're not good at it. It has to just come naturally. It has to be easy for them. And I'll say, the best part of trying something is overcoming the challenges and getting on the other side and then getting good. And even when you're good, you never stop practicing. I mean, you look at the best basketball players, best tennis players in the world. They don't say, okay, I'm good now. And then they don't practice. They're honing, refining, staying on top of their game all the time. It's all part of the process. That's the grit. And we're trying to teach my children that, and like with my son in the ski trip, he doesn't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to try something that doesn't come naturally to them. But I pushed him to try. And it was truly a breakthrough moment. And he had that proof on the other side of the discomfort that success awaits. And he really did enjoy skiing. Like I could tell that he was confident. I could tell he was like, did you tell daddy? Did you tell daddy? He wanted to continue going down the little bunny slope again and again. And he had a little spark in his eye where he felt proud of himself. And I don't get those moments a lot. So you have to get, like Serena says, uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. And deflecting or rejecting out of fear will close you off from any possibilities, any new opportunities. You have to push through that bad to get to the good. Maybe there's a better word than bad. The unknown, the scary, things that make you afraid to get to the other side where confidence, success, growth, grit, determination, all of those await. I have 2 more for you. How we doing? Who's here? Let me know. Say hi. Okay. One other thing to keep in mind is you have to know that you are not your failures. Your failures do not define you. One setback doesn't make you a terrible entrepreneur, or it doesn't mean that you're not destined to have a successful business, or it means that you're, destined to shut your doors and move on to something else because you couldn't hack it, you couldn't make it work. We are all our own worst critics, But putting your failures under a microscope and focusing solely on that, it doesn't do you any good. It's important to love your business, do work that lights you up, but you can't equate your self-worth and tie your self-worth, your value, to the success of your agency, because it will set you up for low confidence levels, negative feelings, as of your value, about your value as an agency owner. It's going to set you up to say, I can't hack it. I'm not good at this. Other people, I had to make a shift and say, maybe there's social media content that triggers you because other people are doing such an exceptional job and, celebrating client wins and celebrating media wins. And you're like, what's wrong with me? First of all, you're not seeing all of the failures that came before them, all of the contracts they didn't win, all of the press pitches that didn't convert. You're seeing them celebrate their wins, which is great. Love celebrating the wins. But I used to get this feeling of like, oh my God, am I not good enough? Are they better than me? And now I look at it like, wow, that's possible. That's possible for me. If they can have that, I can have it too. So looking at any failure you have and setting yourself up with negative feelings about your value as an agency owner is putting you in a place where your mindset isn't right for growth, for opportunity. When you experience a failure or a setback, don't give in to that instinct to brand yourself as a failure. Remind yourself of all the good you've done so far, which is why we love celebrating small wins. Small wins. What can you process in those small wins? What can you do to acknowledge them? Do you have anything in the works that you can easily complete and then be like, I did it, and celebrate that? Did you learn something new? Did you make a new media contact, a new connection or a relationship? Did you improve a relationship with a client? We've had that where we work with a client and I'm like, I'm going to break them. I'm going to be so charming and fun and funny that they're going to love me. This person who can't stand me is going to love me. It's usually the marketing team. They're threatened by your mere existence. It's not about you. And I always aim to make them our biggest champion because we're going to make them look good. It is my job to make them look good. And as soon as I am able to do that, then they are like, we love, we're so happy, you're the best. It takes a bit, but I always celebrate that. We did it. I got them on our side. And, any wins that you can celebrate. Do you have any wins recently with other clients or landed a new client in the past few months? Anything, a new media contact, refining your proposal. I just updated one of our proposal templates for the baby and kids side, and we're working on the beauty side, and it is great, and I love it. I think it's exceptional. The first client we pitched with it, we didn't win. But I'm not going to say that proposal template's a failure. It just wasn't meant to be for us to win that work. And that's A-okay, because I know something better is around the corner. But I still celebrated this really compelling new template we created because I think it's going to be really good for us in the long run. So celebrate yourself for making it this far. And remember, you are far more than your fears, your failures, your setbacks. And again, we're not going to say failures. We're going to call them lessons, growing opportunities, right? Reframe it. The last thing I have is be gentle with yourself. Be patient. Know that you're going to learn something from any mistakes, setbacks, bumps in the road. Things take time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and your digital agency is not going to be built in a day either. You need to be patient as you work towards these goals. And know, just like skiing and, putting out proposals that you don't always win, failure is part of the process. And sometimes multiple setbacks are necessary to get those results that you want. So give yourself a runway so that you can complete a project, Don't put extra pressure on yourself with unrealistic timelines or expectations that, you can't always meet. Or if you, talk to a client and you kind of ask them, when do you need the proposal or when do you need our strategy? If they give you a timeline that's like, I'm not going to be able to do my best in that period, let them know, and ask for more. Don't set yourself up for failure because they asked for a deadline that you think is impossible. I'd rather have you take an extra day or two and make it great and turn something over to them that they're going to love than trying to meet some arbitrary deadline where you're not going to be able to do your best work. So, give yourself that runway to complete a project. Don't put extra pressure on yourself with expectations that are not realistic for you. If you have so much going on, your kid is graduating, you're packing for a trip, you're leaving, you're going out of the country, you have 2 new business proposals, a client strategy to complete, and you have 2 days. No, that's not realistic. It's not going to work. You're going to make yourself crazy. So you have to set those expectations realistically. And just know that you're on the right path. And remember, slow and steady wins the race. And I hope not just speaking in all platitudes today, but there is good info here. Your mistakes and your failures, your bumps, your hurdles, on the other side, there's always a learning experience. Thumbs up, heart, let me know if you have personally lived that, where you had a setback and you learned and you grew from it. If you hit an obstacle, take the time to reflect on why you have found yourself in that situation and what you can do to prevent it from happening again. You have that knowledge that you can use to change your action plan or tweak your strategies and do it differently and do it better the next time. Aw. I think this cat and this dog, they're like frenemies. They love each other, but they're so cute. They just booped noses, which is so cute to me. This is the prime example of what my son did when he was skiing. And I love that example because it just makes me so proud of him. But every time he fell down, he learned, he changed his strategy for the next go around. He learned how to quickly get himself back up. Even just telling him, don't point your skis down the mountain because you're going to be on your butt going down the mountain. You got to go, perpendicular to the mountain, and then you won't fall down when you push yourself up. You're not going to go downhill. That changed everything for him, that simple little lesson. And he would not have learned it if he didn't fall down and have to get back up. So, with a little bit of patience, my son was able to go down the bunny slope. And then some. He was turning, and it was great. And that will happen with you. With a little bit of patience, learning from your setbacks, pushing through the fear, you will confidently just keep getting back up again and improve and grow and earn that grit and determination every single time you do. And I would love to support you every step of the way. Once you get your fear of failure out of the way or continue working on it, you can get back on the path to your biggest agency goals. So I would love for you to grab a spot in my upcoming masterclass. From flailing, because I can picture someone skiing going down with their poles going in every direction. It's a process. We're going to get you from flailing to flowing, and you'll get this 12-step framework to growing and scaling your digital agency so that you can have a business that supports the life that you want, whatever that looks like for you. Everybody's is different. But I know that you can create a business that totally supports the kind of life you want to have, and vice versa. And I love this chat because I know that our community goes back to this content around imposter syndrome and, kind of fear of failure all the time. And so I want for you to have a plan, because having a plan will also give you that confidence, because you know that you are moving in a direction that's proven, and knowing, sorry, I'm trying to get this person like off our page, like get out of here. And I think I can't because I'm logged in as Jen personally and not Generation. Let me see. Get out of here. You don't belong here. Anyway, so how are we doing? Let me know if you have any questions, anything. Why can't I? It's so annoying. Anywho, anybody have any questions for me? Serena, thank you so much for being here. This other person, go away, bye-bye, as I would say to my kids. But I'm so excited about this upcoming masterclass. It's in just about 11 days, and it's going to be really, really good. We're taking all of the best actionable, like the whole roadmap that I've developed, my path to profitability. I'm sharing it all with you so you see exactly what it takes to build an agency strategically that you'll love long-term, and that will be the foundation of consistent, predictable, recurring retainer revenue for you, because that's my goal for all of us. So any questions? I'll stay on for just about another minute. Thank you so much for being here. I'll stay on. I am leading the commencement committee for my younger son's 5th grade, I guess it's culmination. And it's just comical because I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And they always say, you know, if you want something done, ask a busy person. So maybe that's why they asked me. And they're like, it's not a big deal. But then they don't give you a budget. And then they say, go get a tent and get chairs and get risers and get a DJ and a videographer and a photographer and tables and rentals and decorations and yard signs, but you don't have a budget. And then they're like, get it cheap. Like, how do you do that? I don't know. So I do have there's a woman that's helping who's gone through it before, and she's amazing. And she plans events at UCLA for their like health department, and she's incredible. So I'm like, thank God you're here, because like, what am I doing? I was just like, I didn't like literally sign up for this. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, no budget, no problem. So, well, that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so, so much for being here. And I hope you join us in the From Flailing to Flowing masterclass. It's going to be awesome. And, I'm just so grateful for all of you. So I'm going to celebrate a victory where, I do this all the time. Anyone in my community knows, but I am going to celebrate this incredible community that we have built together, because, you know, I didn't think a group of PR professionals could be so supportive and giving and sharing and open and collaborative. And we created it, and here you all are, and that's a huge win. So I'm going to celebrate that. Take good care, and I will see you guys next week. All right. Go be brave. Bye.